A word of warning. If you're easily offended by cannibalism, death, torture, and fascinating facts about the human body, this series may not be for you. Therefore, listener discretion is advised. Cannibalism. Could you eat a whole human being? With the help of a doctor, a scientist, and a chef, I set out to see if it's possible. Cannibalism. Part 26. Part 1. Decomposition. As very few cannibals are qualified chefs or butchers, they'll be unaware of how fast a body rots. Across 1998 to 99 in Venezuela, homeless man Jose Vargas Gomez, nicknamed the People Eater, hunted at least 11 passers-by using a spear and rocks. Bearing the hands, feet and heads, he only kept the pieces he could eat. And he claims he was forced to kill often, as the flesh would decompose quickly, and as a homeless man, he had no way to store it. It is said that, in the 1930s, Chicago crime boss Al Capone lobbied for sell-by dates to be added to milk. By the 1950s, Marks and Spencer's were using best-before dates in their storerooms, but it wasn't until 1975 that these were added to food products such as meat in their store and thus save lives. But cannibals don't have the luxury of a best-before date on a corpse. A human body doesn't decompose at the same rate, as every body part degrades at different speeds. Upon death, the brain, being high in water and needing a steady supply of oxygen, decomposes first, followed by the heart within minutes, the liver as it's full of enzymes, followed by the kidneys and the pancreas after an hour, with the skin, corneas, tendons and heart valves surviving for a day after death. And owing to the level of the fibromuscle tissue, the uterus and prostate is the last body part to fully decay. Although each human is 99.9% genetically identical, we decay at different rates. As a smaller, skinnier person, left in the same room, will decay faster than those with a higher mass and body fat. But one which is already badly burned will decompose at a significantly slower rate as oxygen and flies have less access to it. Decomposition begins about 4 minutes after brain death. With the cells deprived of oxygen, the acidity increases, waste products can't expel, excess carbon dioxide causes the cell membranes to rupture, and the digestive enzymes of the liver and stomach begin the process of autolysis, or self-digestion. When a pig, being 87% genetically similar to humans, is slaughtered, its meat is not immediately safe to eat, as the lack of oxygen in its blood causes anaerobic glycosis, a state which in humans we call rigor mortis. Until its meat's pH level drops, it has to be hung before it can be butchered. Local butchers do this in 5 to 6 days, or as much as 3 weeks, with industrial meat production done in 24 to 48 hours. As we die, our body temperature drops, acclimatizing to its surroundings, which increase the bacteria. When police entered the apartment of Jeffrey Dahmer, they found a waist-high, 100-litre fridge, just big enough for the food of a single man who lived alone. But with the volume of an average human being 62,000 cubic centimetres, roughly 62 litres, it wasn't big enough for one corpse, let alone 4. The second stage of decomposition is bloating. A self-digestion causes the gases to accumulate, which occur 3 to 5 days after death, resulting in putrefaction and the noxious odours to ensue. Following a pig slaughter, the carcass is chilled, but with the meat not allowed to go any lower than 10 degrees Celsius. Once the pH level in the meat is stable, it is bled, skinned, and eviscerated to remove every organ, which speeds up that rate of decomposition. The blood is either disposed of or sterilized for sale. The skin is removed and heat-treated. The organs are safely taken out to ensure there's no cross-contamination of toxins, so all that remains is the meat and the primary skeleton. And then the carcass is inspected by qualified vets. Speed is paramount, as in the first 24 hours, a fly can lay up to 250 eggs. Having been attracted to the foul, sickly sweet odour that decomposition produces, which itself increases the level of bacteria in the blood, as when a mass of maggots begin to feast, that increases the body temperature by up to 10 degrees Celsius. In the case of necrophile Dennis Nilsen, he kept his victims' bodies hidden only for as long as he could stand the smell, with those who survived him saying that his flat was always cold as he left the windows open even in winter, and it smelt of joss sticks, bleach, and it had an odd stench like off stew. The rate of decomposition is entirely affected by temperature, weather and moisture, with the organisms less active in colder temperatures, and decomposition is drastically reduced owing to a lack of oxygen when the body is buried, which is why mortuaries store bodies at a very steady temperature of 2 to 4 degrees Celsius or 36 to 39 degrees Fahrenheit. Which begs the question. Jeffrey Dahmer admitted,
"I was branching out. That's why the cannibalism started. At first it was just curiosity, but then it became compulsive."
With the accumulation of bodies in his poky little flat, and with his landlord and neighbour complaining about the smell, if he had to plan this properly and purchased a larger fridge, would he have been caught much later, if at all? Join me tomorrow for the penultimate episode of Cannibalism: Storage.